back on the radio.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Mark Norman's here.
And I didn't realize until before, I forgot you were here when Paul walked out.
When the shit went down, as it's being referred to.
Opie show, yeah. I didn't know I forgot you were here for that.
Oh, yeah, we call him Paul Walker. Yeah, he skedaddled. I was impressed because he just, you know the whole story, right?
But what was happening in that moment? Because I've heard, there was a clip release, I saw part of it, but I just couldn't watch the rest of it.
Basically, it was tense the whole time, and...
what started it?
Carl had a box of chocolates.
Oh, that I saw. Oh, yeah, someone tweeted that Paul should have knocked fucking the cake out of Anthony's hand. I thought that was funny when he did that.
Yeah, I did too, and I thought that was what it was all about. You know, hey, we're busting balls, we're being silly, but I mean, he just lost it. He was like, "What the fuck was that? Holy shit!"
Carl did.
Yeah, and I think there was like a little I'm talent, you're internee, working here-y kind of thing. Like, there's a hierarchy, whatever. So you can't do that. Like, Sherrod could do it to me, but you can't do it to me. So then they kept jabbing at Paul throughout the show, like, and this guy thinks he can blah, 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 and I would let him go, and, you know. And it kept building and building, and then eventually Opie said something, and Paul goes, "Do you want me to leave?" And Opie's like, no one's asking you to stay. And he just walked out.
Well, it's like, all right, cool, I'm out.
Yeah.
I knew Carl got mad, and look, Carl probably, that's something we do to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that's something that's pretty... You know, you knock shit out of people's hands. Maybe he didn't know that, so for him it was like a little... And then Paul replaced the chocolates, right? Like he bought new ones.
He did.
Did he?
Well, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He replaced... I don't even think you should have to replace the chocolates. Because the thing that I found so interesting, and this is literally, I don't know any of the behind the scenes stuff. I was just listening because I was getting tweets that this was happening, so I turned it on. Mm-hmm. But I was like, in one breath, Carl was like pissed that he got chocolate slapped out of his hand.
Yeah.
And then in the other breath, the whole room was being like, of course you could film somebody in the bathroom. It's funny. Yeah. I was like, well then, what about the chocolates getting slapped out? Isn't that like
the chocolates
down here as compared to?
It was hilarious. When he knocked those out, it was really funny.
Yeah, I thought so. But...
That would have made me laugh. And again, especially if it's something replaceable like chocolates.
But he's not a comic, you know?
Yeah, so I was like, all right, maybe Carl just didn't know.
But in a weird way, it felt like the whole Roland thing with the bathroom got shifted onto Paul.
It did.
And he was in the room.
Side in a big way, right?
Yeah, and that chocolate thing was almost like, now we can get mad at you. Let's put all the anger, and it funneled to Paul.
Oh, I see. So they're mad that this thing is becoming an issue behind the scenes.
Yes.
And the chocolate thing happens, and so the guys on the show get that anger, and we can just throw it at Paul.
Exactly. This is something we can get on board with in the room right now.
Right.
We're all angry. There's tension. It was very Lord of the Flies. It felt weird. Like, get 'em out. We're the crew.
And then he said you sided with Roland on that thing. Like, well, yeah.
And Paul didn't want to be Piggy.
Right. Roland's Piggy.
I see.
And yeah, but it's like, he said, well, if you're in the inner circle, you don't go to HR. And it's like, yeah, but weren't you trying to go to Scott and get him in trouble for not booking the show right? Like,
interesting.
There was all this. My point is, there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Roland being a pussy and running to HR. There was other stuff that had been happening on both sides behind the scenes that they weren't happy with him either. So
I was just sitting there listening, drinking my tea, going, not that it's any of my business.
Yes.
Hey, look, it's fucking, if it was another radio show, we would talk about it. I mean,
yeah. It was dicey.
Especially if it's on our channel. Like if Ellis's show was falling apart, or if Nick DiPaolo's show, whatever, 2 months in was falling apart,
it'll
we'd be
happen.
Like, be like, look at what's happening over here.
And
this
everyone's
is
being
crazy.
called backstabbers. It's like, really? It's everyone's a backstabber and it's not you?
Exactly. And me and Doug Benson, we don't know the scoop. So we're just coming in trying to crack wise, and it's super awkward. It's like when a couple is fighting and you didn't know they were about to get a divorce.
Yeah.
And then they just do it in front of you.
Yeah.
Like you're like, joke, and then you say one other thing, and they're like, that's not funny, Mark. We don't joke about that.
Yes, exactly. So we're like, shit, what happened here? This is a comedy show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. It's so now I guess Paul is not going to be on that show anymore.
I guess not.
I guess because he's stuck up for Roland.
And more importantly, Paul's tripod is not going to be on that show anymore. This is bad.
Yeah, it was like a B&H repo.
Oh wait, out of Lewis.
Huh?
No, he didn't.
What?
The black guy?
He's saying that, hold on, John in Kentucky said we got something wrong. Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
if Paul was going for a joke, it would have been funny, but they were Carl's chocolates.
Who cares?
If he would have slapped them out of Carl's hands, it would have been funny. But Lewis was just standing around with them in the back.
I'll tell you this, dude. It's fun. Anybody who gets mad at chocolates being slapped out of your hand shouldn't be on a fucking comedy show.
Here's what's
interesting.
funny. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. But this, in my mind, is what's funny. Regardless of who is holding the chocolates, the look on Carl's face that where once there was great chocolates in a box that I could share with my friends, now they're all over the floor for nobody. All these positive intentions have been destroyed, and I'm dismayed. That look would be what's funny.
That was
correct?
it was
Yes.
great.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
It was great. I would never think someone shouldn't get chocolates knocked out of their hand like that.
Right.
Even if it was mine, I would hate it, but I would get it.
Exactly. I went to the movies once with Keith Robinson, and I had a big bucket of popcorn, and right when I bought it, he slapped it out of my hand. And I was crushed. It was like $15. And I was crushed. The popcorn went everywhere. Everybody laughed, and I just took it. And then I watched Iron Man.
There's a scene in Lucky Louie, and I know chocolates are more expensive, where I slapped the pizza out of Louie's hand. The reason that scene happened was because one time Louie and I were sitting in front of that fucking pizzeria on the corner of McDougal and West 3rd.
Ben's.
And he fucking slapped pizza out of my hand, and every comic laughed at.
But here's the
That's how
question.
that happened.
Yeah.
Everyone laughs at you.
Right.
If Louis, if it's
Thank you, John.
If it's you, here's John's point. If it's you, we need to get into the science of this. If it's Louis, Jim, and Mark, and they're all hanging out, right? And Louis gets this great pizza, and he's like, I can't wait to eat this pizza. Mark, hold this for a second for me. And Mark goes, okay, buddy. And then Jim slaps the pizza out of Mark's hand. The caller's saying, that's not funny anymore because that wasn't Mark's pizza.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
every
Louis'
comedian
pizza.
I know
Right.
would disagree
Yeah.
and think it's even more hilarious because of how avoidable it was.
Right.
Because if Louis had just handled his own pizza, it wouldn't have been slapped.
Right. But in
No
Carl-
one funny wouldn't enjoy that.
Right.
But in Carl's defense, I
Right.
don't think he's ever experienced this.
I agree.
And this is a quote-unquote low-rung totem pole guy.
But
so if I slapped your pizza out of your hand, that would be different, don't you think?
You know what? And I understand. I actually like Carl, and I
yeah, me
think that what
too.
happened was like he wasn't expecting that, and he doesn't. But how do you side against that? I don't
Chocolates on the
understand.
floor.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a good joke. It
But yeah,
never
but Paul's
fails.
not that low wrong. He's been here for a long time. He's been here. He's probably been in the room longer than those guys.
2 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good
Paul's
point.
been here a long time. I mean, and he's been a video guy for a long time, and he does a lot of video shit that he does not get paid for.
Right.
So it's not like he's like Rob, who just came in.
Yeah.
That's a new guy. Anthony's a new guy. But Paul's been here for a while.
Right.
So-
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
so
just
Rob,
funny.
if you think you're going to come in here and slap anything out of anybody's hand, think again.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Good.
I wouldn't dare. I would forgive him. He's handsome.
But yeah,
He's so handsome.
he really is good
handsome.
looking.
Fresh face.
But that would be right if it was somebody who had never been. So I guess Paul is off that show now and going to do something else.
He's probably thrilled about it.
Yeah, maybe.
But it all goes down to the bathroom drama, doesn't it? What I don't understand. We're talking about chocolates and Paul, but isn't it all connected to the bathroom?
I think so. Yeah, the
It
bathroom's
is,
where it
right?
all started.
Yeah, rolling in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if anybody's like, well, why wouldn't Roland think that was funny? That goes right back. It's the same philosophy, except Roland's even less of a comic than Carl is because he's not
Interesting.
talent.
Right.
And
No, he isn't.
and getting filmed while you're going to the bathroom is more humiliating
Yes.
than losing chocolates.
Aha.
So that same way of thinking sides with
Interesting.
Roland to an even higher degree, right?
Right.
And then the whole thing about it's
Right?
the inner circle. It's almost like if I did something to Sam or Troy, and then and they went to HR, I'd be pissed off. Like, why did you come to me?
Right.
Because we're all kind of like Opie
We're on a
and
group
fucking
text.
Troy are on different. I mean, Opie and Roland are on way different levels as far as their power in the company is concerned.
Yeah.
So it's harder to go to someone who you see as a boss and go, hey. And also, if there's also been tension between you two, it's harder to go to your boss.
Right.
You know,
And that's the issue. Roland went to HR.
I don't even know if Roland did or somebody else went to HR if they just heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't
I
care if he
see.
did. I mean, whatever he
I
did, he
see.
did. It's up to him.
But it's like if you got raped and then you go confront the raper, you know?
Yeah, you
Or
don't-
rapist. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
rapist.
Right.
But the point is, it's like you're in different positions, and Roland had also long before that been concerned because people have been going to Scott complaining about Roland. He said he was trying to get me fired. So
Oh, shit.
yeah, well, again, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Well,
Right.
either way, the video is hilarious.
You saw the video?
No, I'm just kidding, but I can imagine.
But Sherrod said he did. Like, I didn't know if
really?
it existed, or I had heard it existed, and then I heard like he was saying like, no, it doesn't exist.
Where did you hear it existed? Was it rumors around this place or rumors around the comedy scene?
Rumors around this place and in comedy. I asked someone who saw it, and they said, yeah, they did see it, and then, but I wasn't going to say that on the air, because it hadn't been confirmed. And again, like, I didn't want to fucking stick my face in it and go, but I knew that it was a real video.
The Roland shitting video is like the opposite of the Aaron Andrews video. It's everything in the sense that it's a hidden, embarrassing, naked video, but it's Roland instead of Aaron Andrews.
The opposite effect. But again, I didn't want to confirm it. Go, yeah, 100%. But and then Sherrod wound up going like, yeah, I saw it. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe they were saying that.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
I'm like,
damaging.
why are you saying that?
Yeah, that's tough. But they have a video, or the photo of Ricky Gervais and them all peeing
I was in
together.
that. I'm in that picture.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
they kept comparing to that. I'm like, well, that was consensual.
The difference
Yeah.
is this: you're not seeing anybody do anything, and guys at a urinal waving. It's a different. And plus, everybody's looking up at a selfie.
There's
Right.
when you're waving at a lens, there's implied consent.
Exactly.
And smiling.
Which is why I get every woman to wave to the lens.
Yeah. Say cheese, babe.
And everyone knows that you're doing it. But whatever.
Right, right.
It is what it is. That's the drama. That's where it's at now.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Well,
Well, it's kind of fun, though.
Yeah.
they've built a loyal group within themselves.
Yeah. Wow. Not as loyal as they thought, apparently.
Well, I
or
don't
maybe
think-
not. Maybe the group's not as big.
That's
as they
what I'm
thought.
saying, yeah.
Yeah, and
Small
it can't be everybody else. It's not everybody else is disloyal.
Right.
I mean, Jesus Christ! After a while, do you ever go, "Hey, it's me"? Does that ever happen? You know why my relationships have all failed? This is true.
Because of them.
My relationships with my friends have been very good. I'm friends with the same guys for fucking 25 years. My relationships with women have failed because I stink at them.
Oh.
And I've been bad at them. And I'm distant. And I'm fucking aloof. And I've cheated. And I've been a lousy fucking boyfriend. And it's my fault. So I got to be a big boy and stand up and go, it's my fucking fault.
Internalize.
You know?
right.
My relationships have failed because I'm the common denominator with all those women. And I really mean that.
Yeah.
I hate to admit that.
Right? No, I'm the same way. I can't be faithful. I feel when they don't want me, I want them. When they want me, I want them away from me. It's horrible.
But I am because I like the hunt.
Yes, me too.
But I am not delusional and stupid enough to think that it is all these other independent people and I'm good and being
Right.
victimized by them.
Yes.
I've been shitty.
Yes. It's
You know?
so easy to dismiss and go, they're all crazy.
Yeah, the idiocy I would have to think that it's all them and not me. And there's been times where I have thought that.
Yeah.
There's been times where I have been like, oh, these fucking... But I'm like, Jesus Christ, you idiot. You've had great girls and you fucked up.
Yeah.
I fucked up. So to think that it's everyone around him is delusional. Mm-hmm. You know, we all have to have those moments.
Right.
Of realizing, hey, maybe it's me. And I've had to have those moments in my life.
But
just
they're
not
hard.
just not with my friends or coworkers, but I've had them with women.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I've had them with women.
Yeah,
Maybe maybe in his personal life and his dating life, he hasn't had those problems.
Yeah.
He's done much better there. You know, we all have our strengths and our fucking weaknesses.
Yeah.
But you notice you're a perpetual problem.
Dude, I can't, as an intelligent person, be deluded enough to think I'm not.
Right.
I would love to figure out why every girl I've dated, I think back to girlfriends and things they've said to me. At the time, I was like, what a fucking cunt, you know, because I was a dope. And I look back and I'm like, she was right. Something one of my girlfriends said to me 10 years ago. I've never forgot. We were arguing at one point, and I kept it going, and she goes, what are you doing? I'm trying to find a solution.
Wow.
And I've said that on the air many times, and that statement hit me like a sledgehammer. I'm like, what am I doing? In the moment, I didn't care. But I'm like, she's trying to figure this out so we're not fighting, and I'm making it worse because I like to make it worse. Mm-hmm. You think I don't recognize self-sabotage? I've done it in relationships. I just don't do it at work.
Yeah.
But I have done it with girlfriends, so I recognize it. It's hard not to. You see
It's hard not to.
Dude, you see it falling apart, and you're like, fuck it. Because somehow deep down you think it's all going to be okay. Or you think somehow you're going to get your way, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. But why? It's just in the wiring, right? It's just who you are.
Yeah, but it's also a lack of willingness to see it, and it's a lack of willingness to change, and it's an immaturity.
You see it in the moment?
And I'm talking about Opie, and I'm talking about myself too. I really am, because again, I've done it. In the moment, it's kind of harder to see.
Right.
In the moment, when you step back, I've had to step back a lot and look at a lot of these things, you know, and they exist. And I can't pretend that my, at 49, inability to find a relationship that lasts is everyone else's fucking fault. I can't.
Wow.
But when it's happening, you're not good at being like, okay, this is that behavior.
Yes.
Let me
Yes,
reel this
because
back.
I'm selfish.
Yeah.
In that area, I'm selfish, and I have to recognize my own selfishness. So other people do too. To think that, like, you know, as far as me, when I'm being called a backstabber, I've been. No one has been more fucking loyal to the Opie and Anthony idea of Opie and Anthony show than I was. I was fiercely loyal to that show. I defended those guys when Anthony got in trouble. When Opie did Cake Stomp, I was on every fucking dumb podcast plugging my things and defending those guys. So I've been a fucking, and they were good to me.
Right.
Fiercely loyal person. No one stabbed you in the back. We didn't work out as a partnership. And then it got ugly, and then I just didn't want to be on the same channel, and they didn't want me on another channel. So that's how things morphed into me and Sam being in the mornings.
But you guys as a partnership, that was not you saying, I don't want to do a show with you. Wasn't that fairly publicly agreed upon
It
by
was
both of
publicly
you?
agreed on, but I didn't like what was happening. I just didn't want to be there anymore. I did not want to, and he felt the same.
That's what I mean by
Yeah,
publicly
yeah,
agreed.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you both said, we're not going to do a show together.
Yeah, yeah.
mutual.
Yeah, and I've said that too. I don't throw him on and say, oh, it's all his fault. I was great. I was difficult at times. He could tell I wasn't having a good time. You could tell I didn't want to do the same show he'd wanted to do. It was one of those things we both, I think, knew that we had to separate.
Yeah, and it feels right now. This feels like the right show, and his show, it feels right. I mean, it's really gelling, and he's got the right guys, and the shows are different, and that's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
But people are like, why do you guys take jabs at Opie? Because he takes jabs at us, like little weird things about guys surrounded by backstab, like implying that we were duplicitous. No, I was open. I said it on the air. Take my fucking name off this fucking show. I wanted my name off that show. I was pretty vocal about not wanting to be a part of that anymore after certain things happened. And again, I think he felt the same.
Yeah.
So backstabbing implies that I was sneaking around. No, I was very open about it.
Right. I mean, it's like that Louis joke where you go, I got a divorce, and everybody goes, oh, and he goes, no, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to be together.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing. And he does seem happier in the thing, or he didn't before all this.
Yeah.
It's like you're hanging with Sherrod and Vic and Carl. I love Sherrod and Vic. Good.
Yeah, they're great
they
guys.
work well together.
And Carl.
Yeah.
And I don't know Carl as well.
He's
I
a
like
good
Carl.
dude.
Yeah, I
Carl's
like
great.
Carl a lot.
But I mean, on the air, they seem like they click. Good.
Yeah, they're
it's a
clicking.
good show. Yeah, I mean, he does it.
It's the right show for him.
I think it's what the show should be.
And I'm not
Yeah,
saying that
it's a
just to
good
be
job.
polite. Like I don't, you know. I don't listen to even my own show, so I certainly don't listen to that one. But I've heard clips of it, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's funny, and it works for Opie. It's his show.
Yeah. Certain comedians it was difficult to get certain comedians on because they get paid to go on that show, and there's a certain exclusivity expected, which was denied publicly, but it's been confirmed to me privately.
Yeah.
Oop.
So well, look, man, that's but sometimes
Now publicly.
No, but I'm confirming that publicly.
Yes, you are.
because people would think that we throw jabs sometimes, and I understand that, but you guys don't know what we've been told, and you don't know that we try to
Yes.
get guys booked way more than you think we do. We have people like, how come you don't have so and so? You think we don't try to?
Right.
Right.
But a lot of times they're like, well, no, I can't, and I know what it is. It's the money. I get it. I'm not mad at those guys, but they've been kind of subtly. You know, the exclusivity has kind of been wanted, kind of like
even-
Howard used to do.
Right.
Or even guilt trips put on certain people. Like, hey, man, if you're gonna do that show, either tell me before or don't do it.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
you know,
So
puts people in a weird spot.
it puts people in a very awkward or weird spot. Of course, it does.
Yeah.
because we're not paying guys to come in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny. I would never ask guys on this staff not to do other shows. Like if
Yeah.
Sam on an Opie show, I wouldn't go, hey man, you're getting paid. I wouldn't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't care.
This isn't paid?
So that's where we're at with that. Just to clear that out. You know,
Yeah, everybody's cool. No feuding. We're all cool.
It's not even a feud. I'm indifferent.
All right,
But,
there you
I'm
go.
also when someone keeps acting like an 8-year-old, going, "You're a backstabber." I'm like, how about you take responsibility for who you are? I've had to in other places in my life,
Yeah.
and it's not enough just to come out here and go, "But I take responsibility." That's not enough.
You actually have to do it.
You have to mean it.
Right.
You actually have to take the responsibility.
I had something happen recently. And my ex-girlfriend, who's my best friend and who knows me better than everybody, we were on the phone talking. I was describing it, and she goes, "You're almost 50."
Wow.
And she wasn't shitty. And she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Ooh, that's a
And but
kick
she
in the
was
face.
but she was right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't go be defensive. she was right, and I knew she was right. I'm a grown man, and in that area of my life, I stink, and it's my fucking fault.
Are you trying now? Are you trying to have a real relationship?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is always me. It's making it decision. I know what it is.
Yeah.
But knowledge doesn't stop it. Just giving the fucking verbal diarrhea lip service of, hey, I take responsibility. You know what that is? It's shit. It's when I finally do it with a woman, or I find that's how you own something.
Yeah.
You take the shit for it, and you don't blame everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same. Are you in therapy?
No.
Oh, my therapist is like, date this girl, please, go for it. I'm like, I don't know. This sounds horrible, but I feel like for a guy, I got a pretty cool life, and dating isn't as fun. And it's for a guy, I think dating sucks. It takes away from life. I think for a girl, maybe it adds a little to it. She's got a partner, this emotion. But for me, it's like, oh, you want to go to brunch? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, really, you gotta.
What are the perks? I can get laid. I can get laid without her.
In this lifestyle.
Yes.
In your lifestyle, it's like you really have to find somebody that's like a partner in all ways and understands that like you don't want to do shitty stuff, and you've created a life that dictates not doing shitty stuff. Like a lot of boyfriends.
Yeah, exactly. We pushed it all out.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang with her friends. I don't want to go to a wedding. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to go on trips.
And you've sculpted a life that allows that.
Yes.
How old are you?
33.
Okay, I'm 15 years old, almost 16 years old. So for me, it was the same thing. Like for a long time, I was like, I'm getting all the pussy I didn't get in high school.
Yes.
But I've kind of run out of the desire to do that. Like I heard a guy one time say I ran out my string. Whatever that meant, it resonated. I heard that in 1989. I ran out my string. I've done it enough.
Yeah.
And none of it excites me anymore. And now I'm much more intrigued of just saying, let's just go to eat. If we fuck something, great. But I'm fine just hanging out and eating and those little things. And the sexual stuff I get. But the different people all the time, it's just got to be too much. And now I kind of like, I want to do that. But I would be a dumb narcissist if I was only blaming these women. There would be something mentally wrong with me. And I did for a long time. But you just can't after a while. You got to just own it and be a big boy.
Right, oof, big boy's tough.
And realize I'm not saying there's anything wrong wanting to get laid. I'm only saying for myself, and I'm talking about him as well. It's like we have to own who we are and really own it. And really owning it does not just mean saying I own it.
Right, yeah.
It means understanding why I have isolated people.
Yeah. It's just so hard to face your own shit.
It's ugly, and it's sometimes nobody wants to like have to redefine who we are. And, I mean, I don't like doing that. I get afraid of that, and it's embarrassing to do that. Like sometimes I think like I'm supposed to be doing a certain thing. I'm supposed to want more sex. I'm supposed to want more because that's Jim Norton. That's who I am, and it's like it's stupid.
Yeah,
it's not who I am. Yeah, I mean, it is at times, but like after a while, you change.
Right. But then you see so many marriages failing.
Absolutely.
So you're like, oh, man, I'm glad I missed that. I dodged that bullet.
But a lot of those marriages everyone didn't get shit out of their system either. There's nothing I'm going to say I wanted to try.
Yeah.
I've dated a lot of different women. I've tried a lot of different sexual experiences with a lot of different people. I'm not looking to get married, but if I'm dating someone, I'm not going to look and go, well, I could have been with, like, I've done that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, what do I still have to do?
But it's also like if you're in a relationship and you get married, it's not like just being married then makes the relationship terrible and then you get divorced. Like, anybody that's honest knows as they're getting into a relationship if it's not good. And they know when they're in the relationship if it's not good. And there are a lot of people who just lead kind of regular lives and they think, oh, well, I'm at this age, I'm supposed to be getting married now. And they don't have that much opportunity, like you said, to get laid. Like they're not out getting laid all the time.
Sure.
So they're like, okay, I got this person. And they know they're kind of miserable, but they get married anyway. Those are all the people.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
You
that
just
end up
think you're
getting
supposed
divorced.
to.
Yeah, you're
part
following
of the plan.
You're following this cycle,
right?
As opposed to like I think that like I like being married. I like being in a relationship, and I've been with Jess for 12 years, and it's because I mean not everything's been great. Like we've had downtimes, but like she's a good partner. She completely understands what I'm doing and is supportive of everything, and kind of bends over backwards to make sure that like our life fits into my life and makes things easier for me, and I've got a partner that actually understands what I'm doing.
And somebody who's
that's great.
And I don't have to worry about finding women. Like, there's no part of
That's
my brain
true. That gets
that's
old.
distracted by that stuff.
But the new
STDs
shit
and all that.
Yeah.
But the new STD, but the new shit, like the idea of a new sexual partner, it's amazing.
It's the best.
It is amazing, but after a while, that stopped working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stopped working. So it's like when that doesn't work anymore, you know, I'm like, I miss somebody sticking around sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone all the time. And I'm like, hey, it's nice to have somebody there who you fucking dump a load with. And it could be mutual. And but then you watch something on Netflix and you just talk, you hang with them. And
Yeah.
you value their opinion.
and they actually want to hang around with you, like, long term. Like,
Yeah.
that's a different level of fulfillment. Like, this person actually still enjoys my company.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, somebody just tweeted the poker chips thing that Opie did, which, by the way, it's one of the biggest laughs I've ever had in my life, was when he threw the poker chips at that lady when she brought a gift in.
It's funny shit.
It's one of the biggest laughs I've ever had in my life. But you can't then turn around and say, I don't understand why Paul knocking this stuff out of his hand it's hilarious. That's funny shit.
Yeah.
That woman's hurt at those poker chips being thrown.
I don't know that. I've never seen this.
She thought it was going to go really, really well.
Yeah, I wish the camera worked. Steve was filming back then. Everything wasn't his video. That's the old XM studio.
Yeah, we just had one camcorder that one of us was holding.
She brought in poker chips because Anthony was playing poker now, and it was supposed to be this amazing gift.
Oh.
And it was not.
It's one of the most uncomfortable, hardest laughs I've ever had. Was
Yeah.
him throwing those poker chips.
Because Opie threw
Oh, there you
them.
go.
Yeah, and she just
And she was devastated.
she was devastated, and it made a really great sound.
It's one of the, I'll never forget it. But you can't then turn around 12 years later and deny that type of shit's, you know what I mean? Especially when it's just knocking chocolates out of a guy's head.
When was the last time you were in a relationship, Mark?
Well, I was in a 12-year.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
that's
did
it.
my time.
You did do your time.
yeah.
But it was, I mean, I was cheating. It was hard. And we hated each other. The sex was horrific. We would just lay in bed facing the other way, like back to back, you know?
Yeah, you can't.
That's only good if you got a dildo. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to cut bait early in those scenarios.
Yeah, it was one of the, it should have ended 4 years before it
I
did.
forgot. You were. Somebody has a question for you, Wayne. Wayne has a question for Mark. But I totally forgot that you were in a long-term relationship. So yeah, when you get it out of your, you want to just go out now and grab because you're a
Yes.
fucking funny comic.
But
How
I've
long
had-
has it been since you were in a relationship?
It's been, I haven't done it really since.
How long? But
Oh,
how long
that was like 4-ish years ago.
Okay, so it was like, yeah, I get why you'd want to go on a tear for a while.
But I just have that thing. You ever get into a fight with a girl and you just go, just dump me? What are you doing? Why do you keep fighting with me? Just
I don't
dump
need to
me.
be here.
Yeah,
We
right.
don't need this at all.
Every fight I get, I'm like, let's just end it. I'd rather end this forever than have you keep yelling at me.
Yeah.
I could never see you again, and then we'd never get into a fight again.
Exactly. But then, my therapist's like, work through it. She's trying to get to know you. She's trying to fix
Right.
the problem. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But I think she's just being annoying.
Hey, Wayne. Wayne has a question for Mark.
Hey guys, love the show. How you doing?
Good, man.
Hey.
Mark, are you concerned, especially with the way Opie's been behaving the past few years, are you concerned just by taking part in the conversation about what happened on his show? Are you not concerned he'll turn on you?
No, I'm cool with Opie. I like Opie. I was just telling Jim the story, and I don't really know the whole thing, so I'm just giving my 2 cents. But, no, I'm just a neutral party. I was just letting these guys know what I saw, because I was in the room. But, nothing against Opester.
But you also get tired of that. Like, people go, oh, I'm afraid he might get mad at me. It's like after a while, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Stop it.
I'm a grown-up.
I'm a grown-up. I don't give a shit if you get mad at me.
Mark's willing to end relationships at the drop of a hat, just be like with girls, because there's one fight. Like if a radio show host is going to get mad because
Thank you,
you're
Wayne.
telling a story of what happened, I would
Right.
imagine
Yeah, I'm
your
just trying
tolerance
to...
would be low.
Yeah,
give
but I've been told, but I know for a fact that guys were having a hard, and if it's denied, it's simply like I have a history of being fairly honest with the audience. So I would hope the audience would understand that I'm being honest with you now.
Yeah.
There have been times where it was difficult to get certain guys in because they were somehow exclusivity was implied or requested, and I'm like, really? I've known this guy for 20 years, and
That
you're
is
doing that
weird.
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Fucking despicable.
It's weird.
Yeah, and if you're paying guys, that's great. I have no issue with that. Good. You know what I mean? A rotating co-host, maybe that works. Phenomenal. You know what I mean? Instead of paying one guy, you're paying a few guys. Great. But you can't expect guys not to go on other shows with their friends. I mean, I've fucking known these guys for years.
Right.
I wouldn't ask people not to go on his show.
No.
I prefer they don't do it the day before because then it replays right before we have them on.
Yeah.
So that's my only request because it's just, I don't want to hear Mark Norman and then you come on and it's the same thing. You just...
Exactly.
But that was it. Yeah.
By the way, my AIDS face is coming back in.
Oh, you're what's it called? Alopecia.
Alopecia.
What happened?
Yeah,
It's coming back.
when we last left Mark Normand, he had to leave the show early
For a doctor.
because he had to get his alopecia examined because he's got bald spots in his beard.
Yeah, and it's slowly coming back where the hairs are white. I guess because they're new.